What's up everyone, and welcome to Jayconomics. My name is Jay and it's a pleasure to meet all of you. On this channel, we take a look at anything related to finance with a strong focus on investing. So if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, then please consider subscribing and liking this video to help me on my quest to befriend the big, bad YouTube algorithm. What's up everyone, and welcome back to Jayconomics. In this episode, we're going to get an update on one of my favorite stocks in my entire portfolio that is in the fintech sector. This stock has performed extremely well and has been nothing but stable during these last few tough months in the market. Before we get into it, if you want to grow your portfolio exponentially, be sure to check out our Smart Money Squad Patreon. There are various tiers for your goals and budget. You'll get my buy and sell alerts instantly, my weekly watch list and entry points every Sunday, as well as updates throughout the week when I see something interesting in the market, and access to the private Discord. The link for that is in the description below. The link to the free Discord is also there. And now we're also quite active on Twitter, so hit us up with a follow there at Real Jayconomics. So make that thumbs up turn blue and subscribe if you're new. It really does help the channel grow. And now without further ado, let's get into the video. So the stock we're going to talk about today is Peak Fintech Group, which will be uplisting to the Nasdaq shortly and also the TSX, and changing their ticker to TNT because they'll be exploding in share appreciation in the next 12 to 24 months. However, for now, their ticker is PKK on the CSE and PKKFF on the OTC for those of you outside of Canada. Peak has done very well since our last video in November, with their stock price increasing by 129% from $1.25 Canadian at the time to $2.87 Canadian at today's close. In case you forgot, Peak Fintech uses technology, analytics, and AI to create an ecosystem to match businesses with lenders. In China, over 100 million small businesses struggle to find access to credit. Peak uses data from these small businesses to quickly match them with appropriate vendors, giving small businesses the capital they need to thrive. Now you may be wondering if I still believe Peak is a good buy, even though they have more than doubled since that November video. And my answer, plain and simple, is a big fat yes, they are. Now one big reason is their listing on larger stock exchanges, as they are hoping to be on the Nasdaq in April 2021 and the TSX in Q3 of 2021. Now, whenever this happens, this will give Peak more liquidity and trading volume and allow more investors access to them in the open market. There's also the fact that the company is continuing to execute at a very high level and is flexing its muscles. The other reasons that I'm so bullish on Peak is because of the plethora of big news that has come out in 2021 alone. And so let's start off with some recent news. In January, on January 11th, Peak announced that they facilitated their first loans to a group of 55,000 social media influencers in China. Social media influencers have become an extremely powerful sales force in China, and Peak has developed great relationships with some of the most powerful influencers there. Through the first week of January alone, Peak brought in more than $20,000 Canadian in service fees from social media influencers. Then we have BJM, Beijing Jingying Corporate Management Lending. So they're a packaged food wholesale distributor in China with over 250,000 retail clients. They require customers to pay up front for their wholesale purchase and recently partnered with Peak to help clients who need short-term financing. They recorded their first transaction in January and brought in more than $47,000 during the first 2 weeks. But one of the most overlooked catalysts for Peak is their collaboration with JD.com clients. Now, suppliers of the online giant JD face a cash crunch as they must pay manufacturers in advance when placing orders, but only receive payment from JD 2 weeks after the products have been delivered to JD's warehouses. For the first week of February, Peak collected more than $994,000 for snack foods and soft drinks. Folks, these numbers they keep giving us are getting to be extremely impressive. We found out about the JD.com deal in February, and since then, the stock has not made any big jumps up or down. It's been extremely stable. To me, the market is overlooking the value of this deal big time. In January, Peak was scheduled to give an update on their predicted financials through 2022. However, they called it off because of, and I quote, a deal that will significantly impact our financial forecasts. Now, if you look at the chart on screen, I made a graph with the previous Peak revenue estimates through 2022 versus the revenue estimated from the JD.com deal. The JD.com deal alone puts them over the halfway mark to their estimated 2021 revenue, which I believe they will blow out of the water. In more recent news, Peak announced a massive partnership with ShopEx at the beginning of March. ShopEx's solutions are used by retailers on 28 of China's largest online marketplaces and social media platforms. Online marketplaces and social media companies make up the backbone of China's online retail industry, hosting over 9 million stores and over 80 million micro shops. The previous chart that I showed before doesn't include revenue from the partnership with ShopEx, as we still don't know yet the impact it will have. But there is a chance that this is what made Peak delay their projected financials, and that means it has massive potential. And finally, the latest announcement has been a partnership with China's leading digital document signing service, which I will not even attempt to pronounce. In China, contracts must bear a corporate seal to be legally binding, making physical distance difficult to do business. This company's contracts lock, is used by some of China's most prominent web platforms, including Baidu and Ant Financial. Any contract signed with contract lock has a complete digital audit record in line with judicial evidence collection records and has the same legal effect as a legally binding paper contract. This will be huge, as it will allow members of Peak's Lending Hub ecosystem to sign legally binding agreements with each other. As you can tell, I believe that Peak Fintech has a very bright future ahead of them. Even though they have gone up a lot since I purchased them at $1.25, I'm very impressed by the moves that they have been making and plan on holding them for the long term. Now, I'd also like to add that I have also averaged up to $1.61 Canadian and felt very comfortable in doing so. I mean, speaking as of right now, they're at a $278 million market cap Canadian. Right? So at this level, I think there's so much upside and not much downside risk. Okay. So again, everything's always about ROI, return on investment, versus potential downside risk. And you always got to weigh those two. And for me, this investment just makes a lot of sense. And that's why I love this and plan to hold it. Now, I have sold 500 shares over $3 about a month ago, and I currently still own 3,000 shares. And so my market value currently is at just under 9,000 Canadian dollars. But to be honest, I have made a lot of moves in my portfolio as of late over the last couple of months. I sold 20 of my positions and trimmed a few more, and added to 3 very high conviction plays. That being said, Peak has proven itself to be a great investment thus far, and they have executed at a very high level. So, I do plan on purchasing even more Peak shares in the near future to top off my position prior to their uplisting. I'm excited to see where this investment goes and where Peak goes in the next year or 2 years. I'm excited to kick back, wait, and watch Peak go. This is one investment that has been proven quite stable as of late and extremely promising as well. Go Johnson, go! And just to be fully transparent with you guys, those 3 positions that I've been adding to a lot and have invested a lot of money and are by far my 3 largest positions in my entire portfolio are ESC Entertainment, Greenbank Capital, and lately a new addition to my portfolio is Cloud9 Web3 Technologies. As I mentioned earlier, I sold off 20 positions, trimmed a couple more, and I did this because I wanted to consolidate my portfolio into my highest conviction plays. And it's really paid off so far, with Greenbank really appreciating in share price. And, ESC and Cloud9, I feel very confident in those plays as well. I will be doing a video pretty soon about this and why I chose to make these moves, as well as kind of walk you through how it's played out so far. So that wraps it up for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and that it gave you a good insight into why I remain extremely bullish on Peak Fintech and the upcoming catalysts that are quite near. And guys, if this video brought you some value, then please hit that like button for me, as it really does help the channel a lot. And if you want more content like this, then don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell to be notified when any new video comes out. And of course, check out the Patreon if you want access to all of the perks, like our awesome Discord and access to my stock master list. This document tracks my entire YouTube and Patreon performance and is basically just a way to be fully transparent with the Patreon members. Speaking of which, the master list also reveals which stocks I've bought and sold, which ones I am currently holding, and how much money I currently have invested in each stock that I hold. On top of all of this, you'll get access to all of my stocks and new plays in a timely fashion, and much more. And until next time, take care and invest smart.